I'm sorry, I should have done this the first before I did the first to the fifth of the cups video. This is introducing the suit of cups. I hope you can forgive me. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Char from CharliesAngelTarot, and this is the continuation of the tarot series of the mythical deck, this deck, and I hope you can see it. You can't, well, it's this one. And my black book. And it's an old version because the new version is just like the cover of the deck. And I'm just going to continue talking about this, so this will be more of a podcast than showing the cards. I will come to that after I have explained these cards a little bit. So just sit back and drink your drink, or just sit back and relax, close your eyes and listen. That is if you would like to hear what these cards are. We call these four suits the minor arcana. The four suits of the tarot symbolized by the cup, the wand, the sword and the pentacle. The cup and the sword, that's the sword, and the wands and the pentacle. Okay. Are descriptions in pictorial form of experiences in four different dimensions of spheres of life, like the ancient four elements of the Greek philosophy, from which it was once believed that all manifests things were made. The four suits encompasses every facet of life experiences. In a sense, they unfold in greater detail and on a more personal level the archetype journey portrayed by the 22 cards of the major arcana. Each suit focuses on some particular facet of the overall cycle and examines it through many different and detailed phases of development. Each suit of the minor arcana may be divided into two groups: the numbered cards, of which there are 10 in each suit, and the court cards, of which there are 4 in each suit, and those are the personages, the characters. Through the numbered cards we may glimpse the ordinary experiences of life, which come to meet us through events, transactions with others, and through passing states of mind or feeling. Each of the numbered cards reflects a typical or an archetypal experience, and sooner or later during the course of life we find ourselves standing in each one of these little landscapes. Thus, numbered cards are most commonly interpreted from the divinatory point of view, as reflections of events or happenings in the outer world, although they are really just as physiological as the cards of the major arcana. The court cards, which belong to each suit, are the page, the knight, the queen and the king, differ from the numbered cards because they do not really describe typical events or experiences. Rather, they embody character types or dimensions of a particular sphere of life, which can be portrayed as a human figure. Although they appear as a hierarchy, in the reality they are equal in value, but their differing degrees of worldly power indicate their different degrees of consolidation. In the outer world, the pages in all four suits of the minor arcana are images of young, delicate beginnings, of the qualities of the particular suit in order suit. In other words, this is a raw stuff of the sphere of life in its most juvenile, fragile and incipient form, needing care and protection for its qualities to develop fully. The knights in all four suits are images of the volatile, energetic adolescent phase of qualities of the particular suit. This is the youthful questing and energetic spirit that makes us want to explore and experiment with particular sphere of life. The queens in all four suits are images of the stable, receptive, containing qualities of the particular suit. Here the energy and aspiration no longer flow out with such abandon into the environment. Psychology might call it acting out, but rather are held within, banked, concentrated, and focused, so that great power might emerge. Here's one of the values. Here one's values are formed, embodied in the only feminine figures of the court cards. The kings are the kings in all four suits are images of the dynamic, outgoing, directive qualities of the particular suit. These powerful masculine figures represent the full use of the energies of this sphere of life in building and concretizing, make it concrete, in other words, in the outer world. The archetypal characters of the cards do not describe qualities which are limited to just men or women. Allow the images, although the images are definedly sexed, rather these masculine and feminine faces imply directive or receptive qualities of energy, masculine and feminine, on a deeper level and available to both men and women. These figures are greater than the numbered cards of the minor arcana, yet not so all-encompassing and profound are the figures of the major arcana. They fall wherever in between. The Queen of Pentacles, for example, shares some of the earthly qualities as of the Empress, Demeter, yet Demeter is greater because she is not only an earthly, but embodies all the vast and fathomless dimensions of the world mother. The Queen of Cups shares some of the intuitive attributes of both the High Priestess and the Moon, but these latter are greater because the depth of the unconscious contain more than just an intuition and passionate feelings embodied by the Queen of Cups. The court cards contain their own mystery, because they often enter one's life not only as an inner experience but as an actual people. Here we return to the enigma of what psychology calls synchronicity, because when something is ripe for development inside us, then often we meet it in the world outside, and when we are on our way to become a certain kind of person and need to develop certain inner qualities, frequently just such a person will appear outside as a catalyst from whom we can learn more about ourselves. Many relationships come into our lives because the other person embodies something which we in time must learn to internalize, to gain. Thus the court cards span the realms of both physical and matter in a disturbing way, because these characters types may enter our lives and people in addition to describing qualities we ourselves are in the process of developing. The suit of cups corresponds to the ancient element of water, from which it was said all life emerged. Water is fluid, without shape, changeable and elusive, yet as real and powerful in its own way as a solid rock. The rhythms of and depths of the sea are both beautiful and dangerous. So too is the world of feeling, for although feelings change and take their coloration from the shape of situation surrounding them, yet they have their own rhythm and reality and their own kind of power. The 14 cards which belong to the suit of cups describe the development of feelings through life, the typical ways in which our emotions change and deepen through characteristic human experiences and the catalyst of other people, and the types of character which embody the world of feeling in its purest form. The symbol of the cup has always been associated with the heart, for the fluid which it contains is the fluid world of feeling. Whether this be clear water or spiritual love or blood red wine of passion, the cup from which we drink is the vessel through which we experience relationships. The suit of wands corresponds with the ancient element of fire, which it was said emerged spontaneously from nothing and could alter and transform everything it touched without itself being changed. Fire is volatile, a shape changer, neither solid nor liquid, but a catalyst which reduces objects to their most basic components and transforms their nature. So too is the world of the creative imagination, which can make images out of nothing and which transforms objects into the real concrete world by infusing them with meaning and significance. Yet the imagination itself remains ungraspable. The symbol of the wand is related to the staff of the magician, who through the mysterious powers of the imagination can conjure things into being and perceive connections which the ordinary mind cannot see. The 14 cards which belong to the suit of wands describe development of creative imagination and the challenges which it meets in the outer world, the uses to which it can be put, and the dangers of too much imagination without common sense, and the typical characters who embody the realm of the imagination most purely. The suit of swords corresponds to the ancient element of air, which being invisible was believed to be a breath of the spirit which conceived the idea of creation before it was made manifested. The abode of heaven was the seat of Zeus, the king of the gods, from which he formulated his laws and dispensed his plan for the evolution of man. Thus the element of air symbolizes the realm of the mind, the faculties of conceptualization and abstract thought which must precede any act of creation and which gives structure and meaning to life. The sword with its double cutting edge is a fitting image for the ambivalent power of the mind, which can be penetrate the darkest and the most incomprehensible object or situation with its keenness, yet with which can also cut a wound and sever with its inflexible edge. The 14 cards which belong to this suit of swords describe the development of this rational faculty in both its dark and light forms, through the conflict and quarrels and separations which thoughts and words can provoke, through the clarity and understanding which the mind can offer, and through the characteristic types who embody the realm of the mind in its purest form. The suit of pentacles correspond to the ancient element of earth, the essential day from which we are formed and to which we must ultimately return. Earth is both our beginning and our end, and the experience of the body is the original reality excuse me, before any feeling or image or spirit can inhabit it. Earth can be tilted and shaped. Houses built, works created, and the business of living requires adjustment to the requirements of our bodies through food, shelter, clothing, and the money which symbolizes worth, value, and reward for energy spent. The symbol of the pentacle, the golden coin which bears the 5-pointed star of Hermes, god of magic, merchants, and business deals, means money. But money itself is one of the most powerful symbols and is intimately connected with our sense of self-value and the worth we place on what we achieve in life. The pentacles is also a platter upon which food can be served, a container, or whatever we create. The 14 cards which belong to this suit of pentacles describe the development of the reality function and the gradual adjustment through life to the requirements, challenges, disappointments, and rewards of the material world, as well as the characteristic types who embody the world of earth in its purest form. We partake of all four elements declared the ancient philosophers, and in an inner sense we all possess these four elements, different dimensions of life, and four different ways of adapting to it. We must all encounter experiences in the four realms, and our experiences are archetypal. That is, they tend to follow certain basic human patterns. The course of the human relationship, for example, is a well-trodden path, however much one might feel. one is the very first to have ever felt in a particular way. Our heritage of myths, folklore, and fairy tales, not to mention the world's great literature and art, presents us with all the typical human situations of love, separation, idealism, disappointment, rejection, conquest, fulfillment, union, and loss. Because our experiences in each of the four elements of each of the four realms are typical, we will explore each of the numbered cards of the four suits through a particular myth which runs through all the 10 cards and which embodies these characteristic experiences. We will explore the four court cards of each suit through human figures in a myth who personify the characters types of that suit. Thus we can examine in detail the essential human patterns of development that occur emotionally, creatively, intellectually and physically. For the numbered cards of the suit of cups, we will consider the myth of Eros and Psyche, for this is the archetypal love story whose progress touches upon all of the main experiences we meet in relationship with others. For the numbered cards of the suit of wands, we will examine the myth of Jason and the golden fleece, for this is an archetypal story of adventure and the triumph of the creative imaginational archetype story. The story of adventure and the triumph of the creative imagination over the limitations of matter. The process of this story touches upon all of the main experiences we meet during the effort to expand our lives creatively. From the numbered cards of the suit swords, we will follow the myth of Orestes and the curse of the house of Atreus. For this is the archetypal story of the uses and abuses of the mind, and the conflicts, the quarrels, the reconciliations which we encounter through our ethics and our principles. And for the suit of pentacles, we will investigate the myth of Daedalus. I might say that wrong. Daedalus could also be. Through the numbered cards, for this is the archetypal story of the fate of the spirit incarnated in imperfect flesh and the development of skills and abilities in the world of the form. That is all the cards being described, and this is the card of the cups, wands, swords and pentacles, and I will be going through them a little bit more faster than the big arcana, because I might do 5 cards and 5 cards again and then the archetypals. Okay, so I'll see you in the next session.